what would you grade your slide there?
6 out of 10. Could be better. I had a little more acceleration at the end. They caught me off guard as I was giving it the lineup. And I looked back, I go, here we go. So here it is. So I had to give it a shot. Couldn't disappoint them.
So it was just completely spontaneous?
Yes. No planning on my part anyway. It was nice to feel it again, and it just was a really great day in a lot of ways. And you know, the most important part of it is the W at the end, and to see the team play well and have Austin pitch well, and just to get a good feeling to go home. And you know, you can have a day like this, and if you don't win, it takes the luster off it. So it's a 5-star day. And I really appreciate the people, I appreciate the fans, I appreciate the people that came out after the spring football game and gave us a good crowd. And I appreciate Graham Neff giving me the opportunity to be part of the program, and Erik to be a part of the program. They both have opened their arms to give me an opportunity to feel relevant and feel valued again. And the baseball is in my DNA. I love it. I love being around it. I love being around young people, and it's given me an opportunity to kind of stay young.
Jack, I heard before the ceremonies got started and all, you were a little nervous and kind of like, oh man, you know, how was that for you going into the day and, you know, all that was going to take place? How did you feel when the day started?
I wouldn't say nervous at all. I was just emotional. I drove down here. I live about 50 minutes away, 55 minutes away. And as I'm driving down, I'm thinking about all the players and the coaches and some really good moments and some special times out here on this field in front of these people and the fans. And I was thinking about all the friends I've got coaching. I was thinking about Erik. I was thinking about, I'm a pretty emotional guy. And sometimes I was thinking about my family. I was thinking about, you know, my family being here, my brothers being here, and just players. It really meant a lot to me. Let's just put it that way. It put some closure on some things, and it made me feel special, made me feel good. And in order to have something like that happen, you have to have an athletic director who, you know, who sees the value and what our era of baseball was, and is willing to invite you back. And you have to have a coach whose ego doesn't get in the way, and has confidence in everything he's doing, so that he doesn't feel like I'm getting in his way. And we have a good working relationship, and we have a good sense of humor, and we're great friends. And he's the coach, and I'm just so glad he's in charge of this program, and it's in great hands, and it's got a great future to it. And I'm just glad to be a small part of getting it to where it is now, but at the same time, a small part of where it might go.
Coach Leggett, what do you remember about a young Erik Bakich when you brought him in here, and what would you say is the biggest piece of wisdom that you tried to impart to him since he took the job here?
Well, you know, my impressions of Erik 20 years ago, or 21 years ago, was he was aggressive, he was passionate, he was hardworking, he loved baseball. He was one of those guys that I saw having a great future in coaching, and hung around some really good people. He, you know, went with Tim for a while, and over Vanderbilt for 7 years, I guess, and then up to Michigan, to Maryland, and got his feet wet. We competed against each other during that time. He got us once or twice, maybe along the way. Once? Okay, good. And then went up to Michigan. I followed his career up there. Called him and Coach Corbin when they were playing against each other in the College World Series, and just proud to be his friend. And I was just always hoping that this program would land in someone's hands who had a really good feel for what Clemson baseball and tradition is all about, and where it's been and where it needs to go and all that type of thing, and who has the personality and intelligence and passion to be able to take it there. And so it's been really great for me to be able to see that, and just really happy, you know, with the leadership and where it's going, and glad to just be a small part of it when I can be.
Erik, how important was it for you guys to win the game today for Coach Leggett?
Well, you know, his career is storybook Hall of Fame career, so you know, the win is, like Coach said, it just is the icing on the cake to what already would have been a great day. You know, years from now, we're going to still look out there and see Leggett 7 on the wall and not remember what the outcome of the game was. But it sure does. We talked about having vitamin W all the time. So it sure does feel a whole lot better to get the win on top of a great day celebrating Coach Leggett. But I think for us as a program and where we are at this point in the season, we needed this win for a lot of other reasons to stay in the thick of this race and competing for a regional, and got a chance to win the series tomorrow. And you know, every opportunity we get to win a series from here on out, we have to jump on it. The only way to do that was to even it up today. So, you know, looking at the hope of this season and still seeing that we've got a lot of goals still in front of us, you know, we might not be where we wanted to be and where we thought we would be 36 games into it, but it's still there. So getting the win today was huge.
I know that guy sitting next to you said, okay, we got to watch this day away and forget about it and move on. And that's how big tomorrow is, because you got a big game tomorrow. Like you said, you want to win the series. So now you kind of got to try to move past everything. How hard is that going to be to get the guys ready for tomorrow?
You know, these guys have responded every time, whatever you challenge them with, and you know, they'll be able to respond from playing well by backing it up and playing well again. And that was the challenge last weekend at Florida State. They responded to that well, and I think they'll do that same thing again. We got Caden Grice on the mound, and I think they'll be hungry. Now they have to go earn it, because that's a really good Notre Dame team that also knows how to win and won at a high level last year. So it's not going to be easy, never is. But I feel really good about the mindset of the team.
You were able to save some arms today. You think we might see Ammons tomorrow at some point?
He was hot in the pen tonight. If Clayton got in any trouble, we were going to Ammons. So got Ammons back, Casey Talent back, and then, you know, really everyone who threw Friday should be good to go for tomorrow. So yeah, feel good about where we're at, but need a good start from Caden for sure. And Austin paved the way today, showed us how to do it, so that was great.
Is Billy Barlow close to being back?
I don't think so, not yet. Still, he threw a live inning on Wednesday against some hitters, and it went okay, but I think more precautionary, just making sure that we're not going to rush him, because he's a big piece and he's got a good arm, and he was one of our better pitchers in the fall. You know, 95, 96 with a good slider, sinking fastball, so we'll try to get him as close to 100% before we rush him back in there.
Coach Amick had a big game in Athens, had the home run today. How much of a pleasant surprise has he been this season?
Well, he just, you know, he's a guy that at the beginning of the year, he wasn't in the conversation as a starter, and he's really just taken advantage of his opportunities, and now he's solidified himself as an everyday guy. He's our DH, and he's our first baseman when Caden pitches, and, you know, his bat is just one of those bats that, you know, feels like we can't take him out, because he has a knack for getting some big hits. He can impact the baseball really, really well. He can hit the long ball, and he's been clutch. He's been good. So it's good seeing him in there, and you know, he's just got a good way about him. He doesn't say too much, but he's just got a good way about him. And his teammates, he's a good teammate, and his teammates love him.
Jack, what did it feel like when they unveiled the number 7 there? Just, I would love to be in your head as you were watching that.
It was really nice, and I've come by the field for the last 7 years and looked at the field and always felt really part of it. A lot of it's for my players in our era that we had, the 22 years of baseball. I wanted them to be able to be on the wall, and to me, with my name on the wall, but it's really them. It's really what they've accomplished, because if we didn't have good times, good years, good opportunities to play in Omaha and all those types of things, there wouldn't be any reason to put a number up there. And so I look at it as kind of something that shows what they've accomplished as well. And so I'm happy for them as much as it. And to have some of them here, and I got so many texts today, my phone was blowing up, guys that couldn't make it, that wanted to be here, and said so many nice things. So it means a lot that it's there, and I put a lot of time into this university and the program, and a quarter of a century of my life, and my family is has been ingrained in it, and I've been thinking about it for 25 years, every day, every night, every time I took the field to try to put the best team out on the field, the best product out on the field. Something I've been proud of for a long period of time, and now I guess you know, you can look out on the wall and say there was something pretty special here for the last 22 years, and so I'm proud to be a part of that. But it's something that I'm proud of for the teams that I had and the coaches that I coached with, and for all the players, because it's really signifies that they were very successful and that they did well and that they played hard and they practiced hard and they were tough, and so that's what I look at when I see that out there.
Coach Bakich, what has it meant to you this year to have him here, to hear that, I guess, public encouragement of your leadership? How has that impacted your first season here?
It's been awesome for, you know, figuring out, you know, just in a year one is always, you know, it's always you know, that figuring out period, that transitional period, and to have a friend, a mentor, someone who's coaching the coaches, mentoring the players, providing that wisdom, but even bigger than that, it's just the personality and the energy that Coach Leggett brings to our staff. I mean, it just completes our staff. You know, I love our staff, love the wives, love the families, and Coach Leggett is a huge part of that. You know, we're hearing about Tanner, who's back there, hearing about Colby, and seeing pictures of Rock, and it's just you know, feels like family. And so, you know, he comes in, Coach Leggett comes in, and we laugh all the time. And but then, you know, when it's time to get down to, you know, hey, we need to do this, or this, and it's his wisdom and, you know, what his experience in baseball and what his eyes have seen for 40 plus years coaching college baseball is invaluable to the rest of the coaching staff. And so where he can impact our coaches, it helps us coach the players better. Even though he's not coaching the players, so to speak, but he gives them wisdom and leadership and lessons that he imparts on them that they're going to remember forever. The 7 minutes with seven that we do every game, when he gets the guys before they do their pregame running and huddle around him, they're going to remember those stories about being a fork, stories about being a rock, not a marshmallow, like all the stuff, you know. It's awesome. And I still listen to it, and I find myself leaning forward and listening to, you know, him just talk about the diff and all the things that it's good. And you can see why he's impacted so many coaches and so many players, because these are just foundational skills, fundamental skills that you take with you in life, not just baseball.
Coach Leggett, how good has it been for you to see the commitment Clemson's made to baseball with the new player facility, the room we're sitting in right now?
I think it's awesome. You know, people love their baseball here, and Graham is very progressive and believes in the program. And he went out and got the best available coach in the country to come here, and it shows the commitment that he has to the program and to the athletic department, to baseball in particular. And so I love the fact that I see the facilities growing, and that's a big part of recruiting. It's a big part of, you know, these kids feeling comfortable, and it's a big part of showing everybody in the program that the program cares. And so I'm just glad to be a part of it, glad to see it grow like this. There's always things you can do bigger and better and improve upon, and I think Graham and Erik both have a really good vision about where this program can go, and I see it going there.
How would you describe the camaraderie and the chemistry of this team compared to some of the teams you've coached?
Very good. They learn something every day in this classroom. They learn something every day out on the field, and I think I'm as impressed with what they're learning out on the field. I'm impressed with what they're learning here, and learning with all the words that are being taught to them, whether it be the lectures in here, or the 7-on-7s, or the times that they just talk in the dugout or on the bus, or whatever it might be. They're learning something every day, and so I'm proud to be a part of that. Proud to see that, because, you know, when I see all my players, all they talk about, they don't talk really about going to Omaha, they don't talk about, they feel it, and they talk about winning, they talk about all those kinds of things, but the things, the texts that I get are not about baseball. They're about what they've learned, what they're taking with them over the course of the 4 years that we're here, the experience that they have, that not all the time have anything to do with baseball. And so I really am appreciative of that part of it, because the biggest thing that lights me up every day is I have relationships for a lifetime with kids that I have coached 40 years ago that are 61 years old now, and guys that I coached maybe 30 years ago in their 50s and so forth, and they're at different schools, but they learn the same things. And so I'm really, I think the chemistry of this team and what they're learning is really good. We're still learning about what this team can do. We've seen some, ups and downs, but at the same time, I see the real positive in what this team is capable of doing. And like Erik said, we still have many things ahead of us that we're capable of doing. And we just got to keep on growing. We've got to keep on working. We've got to keep on grinding, because it's a long season.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.